Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. It's Tony back with you once again for the Wigan Cult Film Club, and we are going to look inside the archive again. On this episode, we are going to look at the Severin Films in my collection. Now, I don't own a lot of Severin. Severin are a predominant US company. I know they started releasing stuff in the UK now, but predominantly a US based company, have been for a long while. So if you want stuff from Severin, obviously it's on an import. A lot of the horror stuff that they were turning out was available through other companies within the UK, whether that was Arrow or 88 Films, put a lot of the same stuff out as Severin does. But there was a genre Severin sort of hit on that a lot of companies just don't touch for some reason. I don't know why. Shameless did a little bit of it a while back on DVD, but they've never really seemed to touch it again on Blu-ray. And that is the sort of post-apocalyptic sci-fi genre, the Italian exploitation stuff in general. Severin seemed to do a lot of it all at once. Went a little bit quiet with it. And they've done a few, but what they've done within this genre, they've done it really well. They real attention to detail to it, and over the years I've picked a few of these up via Brad from the 4K Tent Revival, or Johnny over at Johnny's Boutique Podcast. They've helped me out with a couple of these titles over the years, and this is the kind of stuff I'm really into, and for some reason was really hard to come by in the UK. I don't really know why. It seems to be a subgenre that we don't really seem to touch on over here. And like I said before, Shameless Entertainment, they picked a few titles up a good number of years ago now and put them out on DVD, and then the Blu-ray upgrades never came, so they must have lost the license to those now. 101 Films have done a couple over the years, but haven't done many. So when Severin put these ones out, I was like chomping a bit from really. So I thought we'd go through the releases that I have in my Severin's collection, and it's not many. It's not many at all. Like I said, Severin put a lot of Jess Franco films out, which I'm just not bothered about. The horror stuff that they put out, predominantly I can generally pick up on other labels. But this kind of stuff, the post-apocalyptic sci-fi kind of stuff, like no one seems to touch at all anymore. So this is what I've got in the range of Severin films within those genres, subgenres. So I thought we'd take a look at them. So here's the first one. And it's a bit of a banger, really, to start off with. Warriors of the Year 2072. Lucio Fulci's first, I think it's his first step into like sci-fi, post-apocalyptic kind of stuff. Really, really good one. This has, if you've never seen this film before, this has a vibe of The Running Man. Before The Running Man, I think Running Man was 87, I think it's 87. This is 83. And there's similar kind of vibes in it. The costumes are a bit similar. The way the storyline goes, two protagonists, they are condemned gladiators that have to enter this sort of brutal TV sport called Kill Bike. And basically it's just people killing each other for spectator sport, really. It's really good. It's of its time, it's of its day. But Fulci did a good job with this. I mean, it's a packed cast. I think the two main roles in this, Jared Martin, he was in Dallas of all things, and Fred Williamson. Everyone knows Fred Williamson. He was all over this kind of stuff. He did loads and loads of films like this. But there's other people in here as well. There's actors in from Zombie and The Beyond and Endgame, which is another one we'll get to in a bit. New York Ripper, you know what I mean? It's a really, really good one. And when Severin put this out, it was like, yes, finally someone's done something with it, because I hadn't seen this since VHS days. Again, it was one that I would go to on a regular basis with the VHS stuff. But I never found it on DVD. I don't think it had a DVD release in the UK at the particular time. And then when Severin picked it up, and I think it does say somewhere, yeah, it's a 4K scan from the Inner Positive. It looks really, really good. Did a really nice job on this. It's packed with special features. I mean, if I show you the back, see them all down in that column there. There's Fulci tapes, conversations between Lucio Fulci. There's interviews with Satici. The Nicest Villains interview with actor Howard Ross. It just goes on and on and on. It's actually packed. But with this one as well, which with some of the other stuff that Severin did, it's nice that they also throw a chapter card in it, which I've always liked chapter cards. I don't think people do enough of that now. There's the Blu-ray, but you also get the CD soundtrack, which is always nice. Severin are really good for doing that, and I don't know what it was with this kind of film, but they always tend to put the CD soundtrack in it. And the good thing about it as well, so I didn't show you, reversible sleeve. You'll probably recognise the reverser more than. There we go. That's probably the air that everybody remembers. It doesn't really sum the film up, but you know what I mean. None of the artwork sort of did on these. They sold a film that you was never going to see. But that's what I liked about it. You know what I mean. If you went into the video shop and bought into a film with artwork like that, you knew what you was in for. You knew that it was going to be crap, but it was going to be entertaining at the same time. And that's what these are. This is why I've always had a soft spot for these kind of films. And Severin giving them the love that they deserve has been brilliant. Yeah, so that was Warriors of the Year 2072. Next up we have Endgame. Joe D'Amato's sort of thrown his hat in the ring with this one. And again, about the same time, 1983. This one was another one that I went back to on a regular basis. It is similar in premise to Warriors in the fact that it's about a group of rebels. Bear in mind, it's post-apocalyptic again, so there's been a nuke, like there has always been in these kind of films. And there's a group of rebels trying to overtake a tyrannical government that's decided to run itself pretty much like Nazi Germany. And it's hunting humans that don't sort of conform to the way of things, and it's hunting them for sport but televising it. And this is another typical Italian exploitation film where it uses every Italian actor that you can think of from stuff that you know and have seen before. So you've got actors in here from Zombie, Black Emmanuel, Anthropophagus, Caligula 2, Demons, The Giants of Metropolis. There's just loads. Nice to see this was a 2K scan from the original negative, so again it does look very, very good. Not much in the way of special features on this one. There's just a special feature on it called After the Bomb, an interview with a couple of cast members and a trailer. But this one I fondly remember for the simple reason being was the VHS. So that was the cover on the Blu-ray. I do also own the X-Rental VHS of it. That was a cover that you probably remember for Endgame if you saw it in the video shop. The big old X-Rental box. But this is the release that Severin did. Again, it's got reverse artwork on it, which is the same as the VHS release. Apart from, I don't know why, but if you look on the back, if you look on that one there, you see he's got the gun. Well, he's got that gun upside down for some reason. So whoever did that artwork must have been mad. And on the original, he's holding some kind of trident, some kind of forked spear, like a trident, like that. So it's the same art, but for some fucking reason, they've just took the trident out of the original art and put some like upside down machine gun in it. I don't know why. But really, really, really good film. Again, looks like it was filmed in a brickyard somewhere, or an old Lancashire mill that's round here made. I mean, there's no expense spared on it. But they could churn these kind of films out, and they were straight to video nonsense. Whether any of these ever got theatrical releases or not, I'm not 100% sure. But for the video market, you know what I mean, they were absolutely fantastic. And Endgame's up there with them. You know, there's a scene in this one with a bulldozer and a machine gun. It's fantastic. But if you've never seen Endgame, I would highly recommend giving it a watch. It is really, really fun. And again, you get the inlay card with the original artwork on it, with the chapter selection on it, which again I really love. And again with this one, it's the Blu-ray and the CD soundtrack, which is cool. Because I know like people like Charlie from our club, when it comes to this kind of music, it is hard to find. So us ripping that kind of stuff for him to DJ with or sample or stuff like that to make his own music with is always really good, handy to have. So yeah, that one was Endgame. Next up we've got Robo War. Probably this kind of genre film, the best that they've turned out in this line. If people know this film back from the video store days, they'll know how mental it is. I think it's 1988, this. Yeah, 1988. I think it's Bruno Mattei, I think this one. Yeah, Bruno Mattei, co-written by Claudio Fragasso. Robo War is a complete Italian genre rip-off. A mashup of Predator and RoboCop, with a little bit of Terminator thrown in there, as well as a team of crack commandos get sent into the jungle on a rescue mission, only to get hunted by a half-man, half-android killing machine. It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. It is Predator. You know what I mean? It's blatantly Predator. The actual android kind of dude that's killing all the commandos, he very much moves and reacts like RoboCop, but it basically is a guy in some leathers with a crash helmet on, sprayed out black. It's like, it's off its nut, but it's really, really fun. Like, really fun. If you've never seen it, this one, it's definitely worth the watch. One of the only ones out of all this put out by Severin as well that's multi-region. I must say, all the other ones that we've looked at up to now are all Region A locked. This one's multi-region. It's region free, which is cool. So this one was a 4K scan of the original negative. So this looks the fucking nuts. Really, really good. Really, really tongue-in-cheek. Again, Bruno Mattei takes loads of actors out of loads of other sort of exploitation films that you know. So there's actors in here that have been in A Night Killer, Zombie 4, Uncommon Valor, Night of Terror, which is another great film. Island of the Living Dead, One Life to Live. There's you know what I mean? It's just full of those Italian exploitation actors. Another one that's just padded out with special features, absolutely loads in it. The first special feature is actually called Robo Predator. Fucking hell. Italian rip-offs, Violent She Wrote, Papa Dogs. There's loads of small interviews and documentaries and stuff like that on here, and there's trailers and there's all kinds of stuff on it. No reverse art on this one for some reason, and for the life of me, I can't remember what the original artwork on the VHS looks like on this. I don't own a copy on X-Rental Video of this one. But a really, really good film. Out of all this lot, it is probably one of the best. If you haven't seen it, somebody on Facebook the other night was kicking it around, and I don't know if someone had seen it on TV. Like someone that's not really massively into films had seen it on TV somewhere, whether it had been on one of the crappy free-to-air cable channels or just like Freeview TV here in the UK. I don't know, but it had been on somewhere the other night. They'd seen it for the first time and they'd gone like, what the hell am I watching? But it's bags of fun. You can see where they've ripped it off from massively. There's like no arguing with it where they've ripped it off from. I'm surprised it was even allowed to get away with it. And this release, I'm surprised they were allowed to get away with one thing when we have a look inside in a minute. So like the other ones, you get the chapter card, this was pretty cool. So on this one, there's like a Japanese poster. I don't know if that's what came out for it in Japan. I'm not 100% sure. And then on the other side, look at that font. It's the Predator font on the chapter selection. But that, you know what I mean? It is cool. And then they do the same on the disc is the same as the art. The Blu-ray is the same as the art on the cover. Tell me that is not Predator. I mean, look at the cast. You know what I mean? Look at that font on Robo War. You know what I mean? They're not even trying to hide the fact here, Severin. But it is a great release. If you're in the UK and you're looking to sort of get all of this stuff, believe me, it is worth importing. If it's going to cost you an absolute arm and a leg to buy it over here, wait till Severin get a sale on, then look to import it. It's not as expensive as you think if you're buying in bulk to get stuff brought into the UK. It's around the £20 mark, but you will save money. I mean, sometimes I've seen these go down as little as about £12 here in the UK. Maybe a little bit less than that at some points. But they're definitely worth picking up. And Robot War, if you're into this kind of stuff, this is the one that you need for your collection. Next up, we've got Raiders of Atlantis. Oh my God. This one is really, really good. From the crazy mind that brought you Cannibal Holocaust, Mr. Diodato. He brings you Raiders of Atlantis. Yeah, I mean, it's a ludicrous film. Whoever sat down and thought about this one, you know what I mean, and put pen to paper to story this, my God. Two former, I don't know if they were Navy SEALs or what the hell they are, now turned into sort of guns for hire, brought in to rescue a team of scientists that have been looking for the lost city of Atlantis. And when a sort of a scenario happens, these people, Atlanteans, that resemble like post-apocalyptic punks, come out to start hunting everybody down. It's bizarre. It's a nuts film. The back sums it up like the best I've ever heard a description or a synopsis for a film, and it says, Italian film fanatic's wet dream. Fast-paced, weird and extreme in violence and design, the movie is pure cocaine-snorting 80s gold. Strap yourself in for a wild ride of ultra-gore, disco-themed post-apocalyptic sci-fi action horror. One of the wackiest Italian exploitations of all time. If that doesn't get your juices flowing and wanting to watch this, I don't know what will. It is mad. It was on a shoestring budget, you can tell. It looks like majority it was filmed on some airfield somewhere. But it is tons of fun. You know what I mean? Really, really enjoyable film. And if you've ever seen any of the Diodato films, you'll know they're all batshit. And again, in this one, people that are cropped up in other films that you know. So again, Cannibal Holocaust, Strike Commando, if you know Strike Commando, that was a decent film. Some actors out of that. Cannibal Apocalypse as well. Cemetery Man, Eaten Alive, All the Colours of the Dark. There's actors in from all kinds of other Italian exploitation genre films. If you're going to watch any of this kind of stuff, this is probably the one to start with. I'd recommend starting with Raiders of Atlantis. I don't think they get any more weird or wackier than this one. And this is tons of fun. This film it's really, really good. I think this was, yeah, there we go, scanned in 4K from the original in a positive. So again, looks really, really good. Special features on it. There's a couple of interviews with Diodoro on the Quest for Atlantis, an interview with the cinematographer. I'm never going to pronounce his name. And an audio commentary from Vinegar Syndrome's Brad Henson and the actor Tony King. And there's a trailer on there as well. There is no soundtrack with this one, just straight film. No reverse art on it neither, I don't think, that one. No. But another sort of straight to the video shop, straight to VHS title from back in the day that was just a delight to watch, and it's even better now to see it on an edition such as this. A film by Antonio Margheriti. He was the guy that directed Cannibal Apocalypse. Is Alien from the Abyss. A really bizarre, all the way I can describe it, over the top sort of Italian kaiju film. Really weird creature monster design in this one. It's like it's took inspiration from all kinds of bizarre shit. A good premise to a film. Some sort of toxic waste, I think it is thrown into a live active volcano, and why a team of environmentalists are working around this volcano. Something happens and it sort of mutates and awakens this thing. So you end up with this crazy monster at the end of it. Really good fun. Decent casting this as well. How the hell they ever got Charles Napier in this from Rambo 2? I'll never know. He must have been hard up at that time. But you also get Luciano Pigozzi from Strike Commander in here, as well as Tito Capri from Raiders of the Atlantis, what we looked at earlier on. Again, it's just up there as one of those crazy Italian sort of exploitation films at a particular time. Disengage your brain, get some popcorn, you'll enjoy it. It's nuts from start to end. That's all this kind of stuff is, you know what I mean? It's all tongue-in-cheek, this, but it's ultra fun, you know what I mean? If you want fun out of films and you don't really know what to be putting on or what to be watching, check some of this stuff out, you know what I mean? You'll lap it up all day long if you're into this kind of thing. If you're not into this kind of thing, it'll probably offend the very senses of you, but I've always gravitated to this kind of stuff. I don't know if it's because of the early days of video shop stuff or whatever, I don't know, but I've always preferred this kind of stuff over to big budget films. I don't know why. But again, this is from 1989. 1989. Again, it's Region Airlock, this. It says on the back, perhaps one of Margheriti's best films. It delivers the giant creature goods, and it does. It's bizarre. The creature looks bizarre, and it's definitely worth a watch. And this is the only release I've seen of this film. I've never seen it on DVD. It's definitely no release of it in the UK. So again, when Severin picked titles like this up, I'm genuinely all over them. And finally, a bizarre sort of film for Severin to pick up, Overboard, with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I remember this one from it coming out. At the time, I probably didn't particularly like it, but over the years, I've just got to, I don't know, appreciate it for what it is, I suppose. It's decent. I'm not the biggest Goldie Hawn fan. Obviously, Kurt Russell, I adore him, and I think he's pretty good in this. But everybody knows this film. A woman falls overboard on a boat, loses her mind, loses her memory. Kurt Russell blags her into thinking that she's his wife, and the 5 kids that he's got are hers, and he's got her doing all kinds of crap around the house, and they live in a bit of a shithole. It's good. It's a decent little comedy. It's all right. It's of its time, but really odd one for Severin to pick up. 2K scan this one, so it does look good. But the reason I got this one, I think it was a couple of years ago now, when this one actually came on sale for the first time at Severin. It was like $6, I think, like £4 something. A bit, you know what I mean, just daft not to pick it up, really. And there is a UK edition of this. There is a UK edition of Overboard. Whether it's a 2K scan or not, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, now scanned in 2K for the first time. Yeah, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's Overboard. You know what I mean? I picked it up because it was cheap. It's a really, really odd one for Severin to pick up. Really odd one. I don't think they've got anything sort of as mainstream as this on their line, in their collection or catalogue. You mean everything tends to be horror, exploitation, you know what I mean, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic kind of stuff. And then Overboard lobbed in on it's well, taking nothing away from it, you know what I mean? It's a nice release. There ain't really anything on it. Just an interview with screenwriter Leslie Dixon and trailers. That's it. That's all she wrote. It's region A locked. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the Severin stuff in the Severin collection. It's a great line. They put some crazy cookie films out there. You know what I mean? You've got to be into this kind of stuff to sort of get your head round the stuff that Severin releases. It's not everybody's cup of tea. If you're into the exploitation stuff, then yeah, you're going to be all over it. And I do know a couple of people that sort of worship at the altar of Severin, and I get why. I understand why. And when the stuff comes to sale, it genuinely does come down to a decent sale price. But I wish they just did more in the UK. You know what I mean? Slowly but surely, they are doing UK releases. You don't come across that many sort of kicking around. You really have to go looking for them on their site or whatever. HMV, I've only seen them stock a couple of items from Severin releasing. But I wish they'd put more out over here. You know what I mean? There's definitely a market for it. That kind of film that I've shown you, not many companies seem to be picking it up in the UK. Not many companies have picked it up in the UK. You know what I mean? Arrow picked a couple of up like that. Hell Comes to Frogtown, Deathcon 4, films like that. 88 have picked a couple up as well. What was the ones that 88 picked up? Like Fall in New York and things like that. 101 have picked a couple up, but not done nothing in the way of the stuff that Severin seemed to pick up. And it's a genre, subgenre film that I've always liked. I've always gone back to. Same with the sword and sorcery, high fantasy stuff. I think because it's so make believe and it's so sort of out of the ordinary that I've always massively been into it. So when these companies do put films like this out, I tend to go straight in for them. But they're getting few and far between now. These companies don't seem to be putting the kind of stuff out that I'm into anymore. They tend to be going back to doing things that they know that'll sell, and I get that. You know what I mean? I do understand that. But I do miss the days of putting, like I say, high fantasy, sword and sorcery, sci-fi, you know what I mean, post-apocalyptic films out, because that's the kind of stuff I'm into. And I am into the horror genre, but a lot of these companies have gone sort of Asian mad recently with Asian cinema, and it's not really my cup of tea. But the things that are out there, definitely worth picking up, and Severin are definitely a company that are worth looking into. Obviously, if you're in the UK and you don't own any Severin titles, I would definitely look into the realms of importing them. Have a look around what's on the second-hand market. You may be able to find something, but it may be pricey. But the best point of time I've always found is sale time with Severin. Watch for the sale prices coming on, and then import them because it's not as expensive as you think it would be. So for this video, everyone, that is it. Take care. I'll see you all again soon. And remember, keep it cult.